Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ready, Set, Recap, where we recap what's been going on. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler.
What's up, everyone?
This week, in the news, we have the first, I think, trailer for Masters of the Universe. We have new details on Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Ubisoft is getting restructured. There's a new Life is Strange game, and there was an Xbox Developer Direct. But before we get into all of that, Skyler, what's been going on with you this week?
I saw the new 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Ooh, the Bone Zone.
I believe it was less than a year ago that we made fun of the title The Bone Temple.
On this very podcast.
Yeah, because we were like, what does that mean? It's a good movie. I really like it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. One of our friends was posting pictures of, is it Ralph Fiennes?
Ray Fiennes, yeah.
Former Pope from that other movie from last year.
He spells it Ralph, but it's pronounced Ray.
Okay.
So come on. What are you doing?
Pretty good. So, I saw the trailer for this. What's the deal with the Slavic guys with the bowl cuts? What's happening?
So they are a gang of British, Irish, United Kingdom ruffians, bad lads, and the hair is styled after what's his name? Jimmy Seville. How do you pronounce that?
No idea. Don't know who that is.
It's he was an English DJ, big personality back in the day, and then he died, and then a bunch of sexual abuse claims came out against him.
Oh.
But the point is that's who they're based off of. They're set up in the first 28 years later, and they're a big part of this one. They're spoilers, kind of, not really. They're like a Satanist cult.
Okay. So they're the bad guys.
Yes.
Okay. Is the Bone Zone theirs? Do they live in Bone Zone? Oh, okay.
No, so the Bone Temple is actually from the first 28 years later. It belongs to Ray Fiennes.
Oh, the Pope built that.
He is a doctor living in the apocalypse, and he's built a monument to remember the dead. Memento mori is what he always says. And he's not going around killing people. He's not a bad guy. He's disposing the remains of infected or fallen survivors or stuff like that, and he's built a temple to remember the fallen, basically.
So not a bad guy, but maybe a little crazy.
That's spoilers for the first movie, I guess, but you should have seen that by now. Come on.
Yeah.
Not you, the listeners.
I haven't seen it either, so I'm with them.
Yeah, you still good though. It's pretty good.
I'm sure it's on something. You do anything else?
Hell's Kitchen wrapped up.
Oh,
that's over.
Did the California girl win?
Won. No.
Oh.
It's fairly. I don't know how many people actually listening to this are gonna care about Hell's Kitchen spoilers, but since it basically just happened, I will give it a little breathing room.
Okay.
But I will say that no, going into it, I was like, well, I can root for the Texas person or the California person, and neither of them were the winner. But when it came down to was the winner, I think it was a good ending for the season. It was a chef that copped a lot of shit from other chefs, somewhat undeservingly.
Oh, okay.
It turns out proved him wrong. So there you go.
You love to see it. Is that your week?
I think so, yeah.
Pretty good. I also did two major things this week, I guess. The first thing is I played a little indie game from last year, which probably goes without saying. I really don't think anything major has come out video game wise so far this year, unless you count them porting that Final Fantasy remake to other stuff, but I wouldn't. But it's called To a T, and the only reason that I wanted to play it is because it's made by the same guy who did Katamari back in the day,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I really like those games. They're really cute, they're relaxing, got good music. This one didn't care for. It has the benefit of being really short. It's like a 4-hour game, but it lacks, I think, all of the things that made Katamari so great, which was fun, relaxing gameplay and really good music. It didn't have either of those things. It was still cute.
Darn.
Like, the art style was good. There's a lot of like cute little character designs, and walking around the town is kind of interesting. But basically, any time that you have to like play the game, like do a mini game or anything like that, it's just really frustrating.
Mm.
The idea of the game is the reason it's called To a T is that like you're this kid in a small Japanese town who is stuck in a T pose.
Oh,
You've just got
okay.
like your arms out to your side. And so like
Yeah.
people are bullying you for that, and you somehow can use the fact that your arms are stuck out to the side to fly. Like you can spin real fast and like kind of fly and jump and stuff. And
Okay.
and so that just lets you sort of jump around this town and collect little coin collectibles so that you can go and buy clothes, but then the clothes never really matter. Like you can't really buy anything of use. It's such a weird game. It's so weird, which is to be expected, I guess, from the Katamari guy, but
Hmm.
it's just not fun, you know. I was expecting it to be Katamari, and so I was, bundling up and getting all comfy cozy to play it. It just wasn't that kind of game. So,
Darn.
a little disappointing. But I also finished Percy Jackson season 2. That was this week.
Hey,
So,
how was it?
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's definitely still very much for kids, which is fine and to be expected. It does feel more adult is not the right word, but like, more mature than season 1. And I think that that's largely
Yeah.
because the actors have aged a little bit. But
It.
also as you go through the books, like he was writing them for his kid as he was aging.
Yeah.
So each
Yeah. Yeah.
book
Yeah.
gets like a little bit more mature. So by the
And I
time you get
assume
to, well, go ahead.
I assume that the show is gonna do that as well, not just because following the subject matter of the books, as Rick Riordan's kids grew up, but like these kids are growing up, so we're just gonna get the same thing Harry Potter did, basically.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And so, by the time we get to like season 4 or season 5, it's going to feel more like a YA thing than a
Mm.
children's story. Theoretically, at least that's how I felt with the books. But also, I was a child when I was reading them, so maybe if I read them now, I'd be like, no, this is still for babies. But we'll see.
Mm. Mm.
It's real. It was really cute. I think Walker Scoble, the guy who plays Percy, he's really good. Like really, really good. He's 100%. He's gonna end up doing stuff after this. I don't know. I don't know what, but he is for sure the standout actor in this. I would give second place, like runner up, to the her name's Dior Goodjohn. I wrote it down somewhere. I'm pretty sure that's it though. Yeah, Dior Goodjohn. She plays Clarice, who in the book is like mostly just a bully character who doesn't. She gets like sort of a redemption arc, but she's never like one of the crew really. In
Hmm.
this, she is a much more enjoyable character. She's actually maybe my favorite character of the season.
Mm.
Because they do some things this season where they depart from the books in some interesting ways. There's a character named Thalia, and they basically completely change her backstory. And I'm curious to see what that's going to mean going forward, because she's a very important character. So, man, I don't know. I don't know. It's on that precipice where I'm like, they're making some changes, and right now those changes feel good. But I'm like, we'll see. We'll see how this works out for them. The only change that they made that I didn't enjoy, and I think I mentioned this on a previous podcast, was they at one point make Annabeth like not a good character, like not a good person even. Um,
Hmm.
I don't remember if I said this to you like in person or on the podcast, so I'll say it again. But in one of the earlier episodes, there's a bit where Clarice has like these soldiers with her because she's a daughter of Ares, so he's raised like an army of the dead basically to help her on this quest that she's going on.
Right.
And Annabeth and Percy and them are like, hey, you should take us with you because we know stuff. Like she's really smart, Annabeth. She knows all the stories about like the Sea of Monsters and how to deal with the puzzles there. Percy's a son of Poseidon, so like he's good with boats, so on and so forth. And she's like, I don't need that. Like I have these dead guys who also know those things. Like that guy was on the Argo with Theseus, and this guy, like she's like people who would be just as qualified, if not more. And
Hmm.
the response that Annabeth has to that is she just kills those guys.
Oh,
She just fully murders these guys, and their excuse for it is like, oh well, they're already dead. Like, I'm not really killing them. And it's like, okay, but like the previous episode, we just had like a whole bit where Clarice was like bonding with them as people, so it doesn't feel good. Like, I get that it's a
at
gray area, but what are we doing?
at the very least, extremely petty to do.
Right, for sure. Man, it didn't feel good, and they like really doubled down on it, and it's just I was like, why are we doing this? And they never, for me, at least this season, brought Annabeth back, and she was already, I think, one of the weaker parts of the show in season one. Not to dogpile on this
Mm-hmm.
actress too much, I think she's fine. It's just the writing for
Mm-hmm.
the character that's not doing it for me.
Right, 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 right.
But right at the end, we got a little clip from season three, and they're like, "Hey, season three is also going to be this year, so we'll have that to look forward to." So it's pretty exciting.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah. Something else we have fun to look forward to, though, Sky, is this Masters of the Universe movie. Whoa.
Oh man, oh man. This didn't come out of nowhere for me. I did know this was happening, but seeing is a different thing. Seeing is believing now.
I man, I saw, but I don't know if I believe. I
Uh,
I saw the
well,
thumbnail for this.
I believe it exists.
True. For sure it exists. If there's one thing we can say, it does exist. But I saw the thumbnail for this on socials like before I saw the trailer, like before you put it in our news drop. And
Yeah,
I would have bet all of the money in my bank account that thumbnail was AI.
yeah.
And I and honestly, I'm still not convinced that it isn't. Like, having watched this trailer and seeing all the stuff in it, I'm like, this is the most fake feeling movie I think I've ever watched a trailer for.
Well, not to add more to that, but
Uh oh.
you do know who's playing Skeletor, right?
I do. Yeah, I looked up the cast, and the cast is like kind of crazy, but yeah, Skeletor being Jared Leto is not a positive for sure. At least we
He's
don't have to see
back,
his
ladies
face,
and
I guess.
gentlemen. We can't get rid of. Hey, we didn't see his face in that really bad Haunted Mansion movie either. I don't think.
Well, I didn't see
But
it, so I couldn't tell you.
he was still there. Man, this is what can be said about this. I need to let's choose our words carefully because I don't know how crazy people are yearning for a He-Man picture in
Yeah,
2026, but like it is still one of those properties that like people are going to care about to some extent.
for
uh
sure. Yeah,
that's not to say this is going to make money or anything.
depends on how much
here's
the AI cost, I guess.
here's what I'll say, and you can take this, both you and anyone listening, you can take this as a positive or a negative. This looks like the same quality as the Warcraft movie.
Ooh, no, that's not a positive. No, that's a negative for sure. That's a negative. Um, I don't know. I don't know that it looks that bad because this looks like it's 100% like fake ass AI shit, whereas that was just like bad design elements. I don't know. It's hard to say because on one hand, I'm looking at the designs and stuff. Like, I'm looking at the armor and like all of the different monsters, and I never really watched He-Man. I feel like that was a little bit before our time, like maybe a decade before our
Mm-hmm.
time. And a lot of the designs seem really faithful. Like, you see Castle Grayskull and you're like, there it is, there's that guy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and all the armor
Mm-hmm.
looks like the action figures of the characters that you would have seen at a, I don't know, a Gordemans or whatever when you were four. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not. I just can't get over how like not a real movie it feels like. I look at it and it feels so much like one of those trailers where someone would be like, "Look, I put Tom Holland in this movie." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I'm probably gonna see this.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of movies.
I do see a lot of movies, and I have enough passing interest in He-Man and Masters of the Universe. I'm prepared to go in and have this be like Craven the Hunter bad, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
But it's not gonna like ruin my life.
No, because I don't have any
And
attachment to this thing.
going in with such low expectations, it can only surprise me. I don't like fish out of water stuff. We're bringing He-Man to Earth again. Like that's
Yeah.
what the previous Master of the Universe movie was.
Have you seen that one?
No.
Me neither.
I mean, not in its entirety. I've seen clips and
Right.
probably like a nostalgia critic review or something. This could be a fun adventure. I don't know. It's.
Yeah. The one thing that I look at with this and I'm like, I don't know, that's kind of interesting is the cast. But I also feel like so many of these, I don't know, nostalgia poll movies just love filling the cast with people that you recognize. And I don't know how many of these people are going to
Yeah,
actually end up mattering. But uh Marina Baccarin, whatever, from Firefly or whatever,
yeah,
pick
yeah,
take
yeah.
your pick, Gotham or something. She's playing the sorceress, who is only seen in the trailer, I think, as a bird.
Huh.
Idris Elba is playing Man at Arms, who I think
Man
is
at
an
Arms.
important
Yep.
character in that world, but I don't really
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Leto,
Mm-hmm.
of course, we
Mm-hmm.
said is Skeletor. Alison Brie is Eva Lynn, which, like, I don't know,
That's
kind
pretty
of
good, to
works.
be
That sounds
honest.
good to me.
That's pretty good, to be honest.
Kristen Wiig is
Uh,
Roboto. Don't know who that is.
yeah, yeah. My
Don't know who that
He-Man
is.
knowledge doesn't go that deep, I guess.
Camila
Um,
Mendez from Riverdale is Tila, and Halfbor Bjornsson, the Mountain from Game of Thrones, is Goatman. And I don't know who any of those last three characters are.
who's the guy playing Prince Adam? Because I think there were like leaked pics a while ago, where it's just like a guy in a pink shirt, which yeah, there he is in this trailer,
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, okay, but seeing him in motion in this trailer, I don't. It looks okay.
he
I'm
looks
okay
the
with
part.
it.
Like, he doesn't look bad. I have no idea who he is. Like, I definitely didn't recognize him.
Hmm.
But his name is Nicholas Galitzine. Galitzine. I don't know.
The saving grace for this movie is gonna. It all rests in the hands of the director Travis Knight, who he directed Bumblebee from 2018
That
and
that feels like the name of a
2016's
football player more than a director.
2016's Kubo and the Two Strings. He did that one.
Oh, well, I mean, those are two good movies.
And if memory serves, originally this movie was going to be directed by Mick G.
Me?
No,
Oh,
not you.
the music video
Let me
guy.
fact. Yeah, well, when I think of Mick G, I think of
Me?
no.
What the fuck?
He directed Charlie's Angels, the Charlie's Angels movies.
Oh, is he still attached? Do we know?
No, I don't believe so. Not at all. I don't know. I'm not seeing it here. But I swear I don't think I'm making that up. No, I Travis Knight. He's done good stuff, and he could be do. Listen, keep your mind open on this one. That's what I'm gonna say.
I wouldn't say my mind is necessarily shut to it, but there's so much of it that I'm looking at, and I'm just like, I don't know that this movie's real. Like, I know it's real, but I don't think it's real.
Does this count as superhero stuff? You think, or is
um,
this fantasy sci-fi?
it's definitely fantasy sci-fi, regardless of whether or not He-Man qualifies as a superhero.
But does the superhero fatigue transfer to He-Man?
No, the, like, you know, franchise movie fatigue might, though. This to me is on the same level as, like, well, not in terms of quality, but as, like, the Barbie movie. Like, it's in that realm for me.
Yeah,
Because I think
yeah.
He-Man, even though it is a cartoon, I feel like it's sort of primarily a toy.
Well, yeah, of course. That's like the '80s thing was we make the cartoons to sell the toys. So like Transformers and He-Man and
Ninja
GI
Turtles,
Joe,
even.
Yeah, Ninja. Well, they did have the comic book going, so
Yeah,
they have a
they're
little bit
they're
more precedent
they're sort
to
of the
exist.
fringe element of it, where they actually were good
Yeah,
outside of the, yeah.
but yeah, it's we want to sell the toys, and so how else do we do it? Like that's how you get Transformers the movies. It killed all of the Autobots that kids cared about, so they'd have to go out and buy the new Autobots.
Right.
So that's the kind of stuff that '80s kids cartoons was working with, and you know, does that have a place in 2026? Why not?
Probably.
Why the fuck not?
Why not?
Sure, let's do it.
I've seen movies that were less justified in their being made. So,
My final words on this trailer and this movie is: do I have hope? No. Do I? Am I rooting for it? Yeah, a little bit.
sure.
Go,
Yeah,
go on, He-Man.
why not? Another movie that I am losing some faith in is Batman the Brave and the Bold. We got some new details about that this week. Namely,
Boy.
we got the name of the writer, who is Christina Hodson. She is apparently currently writing the script for this movie. Although I should say, I do think that they don't go into production in the DC thing under James Gunn at least until they like feel really set on the script and stuff. So
Mhm.
I don't necessarily think this is set in stone. Like if it turns out that it's a bad script, I don't think that they'll make it. But the only reason that I feel the need to even say that is because the things before this that she's worked on are Birds of Prey, The
Mhm.
Flash, and that Batgirl
Mhm.
movie that didn't come out.
Right.
So,
All DC properties that, in order of mentioning, I'm going to be generous, more generous than you'd like me to, and say
okay.
was okay,
Maybe.
was not good.
The Flash was terrible.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone could dispute didn't come out.
Didn't
So
didn't exist.
so I mean, I guess it makes sense that Andy Muschietti, who did direct the terrible Flash movie, and then teaming up with this writer who also terrible Flash movie.
Yeah, let's get
But
that
like
team back together.
but how much of the Flash should be put on the shoulders of the producers, not the creatives?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Somebody
Be-
wrote, "I'm gonna put the baby in a microwave."
yeah, yeah. I am of the opinion that there's no justifying that Flash movie like at all.
No, it's really
I think
bad.
I think it's very, very not good. Um, Birds of Prey, I was negative when I first saw it, but then I rewatched it like I don't know 2 years ago, and I came away a little bit more positive on it. Maybe I was just hungry and I wanted that egg sandwich she ordered. I don't know. And then Batgirl. Obviously, we have no real way of
I have
knowing.
no idea. We're told it was good, but there's no way of knowing.
I don't know. I do like Andy Muschietti. I like the It movies, and I like Welcome to Derry, which he directed episodes and was the main showrunner of. And every episode that ended, it did that kind of annoying thing that like Game of Thrones did and a whole bunch of shows do, where the second the episode ends, it talks about the episode and what the characters are doing and stuff. But
Oh
it
yeah.
also it also went into like the practicality of like how they were designing the monsters and how they wanted to shoot certain scenes. And I felt what he was saying in those segments was really interesting, and I liked the way he was approaching things from a creative, and I want to have more faith in him to
Mm.
get a redemption in this DC universe, I suppose.
Look, if it comes out and it's good, I'll be happy about it. But
Yeah,
if this is the team working on it, by the time they start shooting, I'm not going to go in
yeah,
with high hopes.
gonna have to see a whole lot more from this movie before I pass any sort of judgment. But
Mm.
we're off to I don't want to say an alarming start, but kind of like an eyebrow raising start.
Yeah.
Where like, okay, we're still doing that. Oh, we're sticking with her. She still works. She's still getting DC property
This is the
work
team.
here.
This is the one we're rocking with.
What else has she written that's not DC?
I
I feel like that's important.
I saw online, and I don't know if this is true. Somebody said that she had also written Bumblebee. I don't know if that's true, but Bumblebee was good.
She does have credit on Bumblebee.
So
A
there,
movie called Unforgettable. I don't know what that is. So two movies that I need to stress are real movies. Just because I don't know them doesn't mean they don't matter. Bumblebee, a short film, Birds of Prey, and The Flash.
yeah,
That's what we're working with
it
here.
just doesn't feel good. I don't know, man. And there were already some like red flags that I was having personally for what we were hearing about what they want to do with Batman in this universe, where it's like, oh, he's going to be like way older than Batman or Superman for some reason. And the whole Bat family is going to be around, but not really, except for some reason, Damian Wayne, who is, I believe, pretty much everybody's least favorite Robin, unless you want to grab the ones who were Robin for like 1 second, because somebody might be like, oh,
I
I don't
think
like the girl one or whatever.
I think there's like a massive like subterranean culture of like Tumblr people who love Damian Wayne, don't
They
they?
there's a culture, a certain culture that really likes Damian Wayne because he's he's the Robin most likely to say the fuck word and kill a
Uh,
man. And so I think that
uh,
there's a certain subculture that really wants that for some reason in Batman Snyder. Uh,
mm.
so we're getting a little bit of that. I don't think that he's going to do that in the movie, though. I can't imagine that they're going to go from what we saw in Superman 2. And Damian's killing people, and we're all okay with that. You know?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
I do think
Peace,
it'll be very
the, the
tonally different, but
the tonal difference between like Peacemaker and Superman and Creature Commandos is already, and like I guess once we see what Clayface does this year, we'll really know like the extent of
true.
how tonally different we can
Yeah.
get.
Well, but it's I guess it's less the tone difference that I would be on that. Maybe he'll start sort of murderous and then Batman will sort of straighten him out, but I can't imagine that we're going to get to the end of this movie and he's still, Talia's little assassin. I don't know. Really my bigger part of it is like I just want to see Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon. Like those are my favorite
Hmm.
members of the Bat family, and
Yeah,
if we are sort of benching them to pull out, third stringer Damian Wayne, I'm not going to be happy about it.
I think my, I mean, I'm willing to like any character really,
Yeah.
but I think as it stands in my heart right now, my love really goes as deep as Tim Drake. Probably. I mean I like,
You mean like
obviously like Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon, and then Jason Todd, Tim Drake.
yeah,
I think that,
the sort of classic ones.
and for the record, I don't even really give a shit about Jason Todd as Robin. It's all the stuff afterwards that
Red
becomes the
Hood, yeah.
interesting bit. Yeah, specifically the Under the Red Hood story. I don't really care about seeing him as like a mercenary or like a vengeful
Yeah.
Robin type thing. Just the Under the Red Hood story.
Yeah. I was never thrilled with the idea of like cuz so many of the other Batman movies that we've gotten don't even really talk
Mm,
about the Bat family. Like we had Robin in two
mm,
movies and he wasn't great, but he was okay. And then we had, I guess, Catwoman sort of counts. I mean, she is part of the Bat family, but I don't know that I would qualify her as that in a lot of the movies that she was in. Maybe Dark Knight
no.
Rises because she's definitely an ally in that, and the Batman, she's an ally in that. But man, I don't know, man. I don't love that we're finally doing the Bat family and we're skipping past the ones that I
We
care
care
about.
about.
I
Yeah.
yeah, it's because I'm sure there's people who are like, yeah, hell yeah, Damian Wayne, but like we're not those people. So I don't know.
No, but I mean, at least we're getting a movie with a Robin in it. So that's,
Yeah. A big part of this, I think, they can pull me back from this, like, I don't know, man, with casting. If we see a real good Batman and a
hmm
real good, I guess, Damian,
hmm
maybe a Gordon or something,
hmm
they can pull me back from this. But right now I'm like, oh no. But
So
hey,
when they say we're announcing our Damian Wayne is Finn Wolfhard, then
oh my God.
you're on board or you're against it.
I am against it, but I'm less against it than the one that I was thinking. I was like, Damian Wayne's gonna be that one kid from Umbrella Academy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I haven't
I didn't
watched
watch
Umbrella
it, but you know
Academy.
which kid I'm talking about, the like little kid.
I don't think I do know the little kid.
Okay. Well, hopefully somebody watching this knows what I'm talking about. I don't know his name. But that was like a rumor going around for a while and I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Well, has James Gunn gone into whoever said that rumor and told him to shut the fuck up?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not on
Because
social media like
because if
basically at
he
all.
has, if he has, then we're Gucci. But if he hasn't, then it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think this movie is so far away that I don't even know that they're like looking at casting yet. The only thing that we know for sure, unless I'm making this up, but I'm pretty sure, was that the Alan Richardson, whatever, everyone's dad's
Mm-hmm.
favorite actor from Reacher,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he's not Batman. He
No.
that actor confirmed that, I think.
Yeah.
At least we'll have the Batman too. That's almost guaranteed to be good. So here
Definitely
we
looking
go.
forward to that one more than Brave and the Bold.
100%. Even without this new news, already would have been true. Now extra.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but hey, here's some other bad news. Worse news. Definitely worse news. Because the
Oh no.
Batman Brave and the Bold might end up being good, but this almost certainly will not. So Ubisoft, if you remember, we we talked what probably 6, 8 months ago about how Ubisoft was like sort of getting sold off, but not really. They were doing like a weird restructuring thing where part of the company is now owned by Tencent, the
Yes.
the company that is just the Chinese government.
Hmm.
Um, so Ubisoft, of course, the creators of Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and all those sort of games. We have seen now what that restructuring looks like. They've finally put into effect the first stages of this. The which includes canceling 6 games, including the Sands of Time remake. Although we don't know the other 5, so it could be literally anything. Delaying 7 other games, including the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake, which was not officially announced, so I'm not sure how we know that that was delayed. And also, it didn't have a release date, so I don't know how it gets delayed. I guess internal delay doesn't matter. And they shut down 2 studios, specifically the one in Halifax and the one in Stockholm. All of the Ubisoft studios are just called Ubisoft location, so it's that. With the other piece of news coming out of that, that somehow that Beyond Good and Evil game that was announced 17 years ago and we haven't barely ever heard anything about since, not affected.
That that's so funny.
Yeah,
That's so funny that there's still like,
I don't know who's asking at this point.
man, so there's someone out there who their entire online persona is built around, like, they've got a Twitter account that's named like days since we last
Yeah,
heard news about Beyond Good and Evil 2.
oh, I'm
And their
sure.
profile picture is the monkey,
The little monkey man. Yeah,
the chimpanzee.
it's such an interesting thing. Like, we knew that when Tencent got involved, it wasn't going to be good. Usually, Tencent doesn't really touch stuff in terms of like restructuring and firing people, and instead just touches things in terms of content and forces it to be like more appropriate to Chinese ideals. This, it looks like, is probably going to be a little bit of both. They now own roughly 10% of the company, but it's weird because they fully own, or some, I might be getting part of this wrong, but it's like one of the studios they have almost complete control over because now they've restructured it into these 5 different creative houses. And Creative House 1, that has all the big IP, that one Tencent like evidently has almost complete control over. So they'll have control over Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six. Those are the only ones that they mentioned in the article. But they've broken it down like this. Creative House 1 is going to be their quote unquote biggest properties, the ones I just said. And the quote with it is that our idea is to turn them into billionaire brands, which, like, I think Assassin's Creed already is, but whatever. Creative House 2 is competitive and cooperative shooters. So that's The Division, Ghost Recon, and Splinter Cell. Creative House 3 is sharp live service experiences like For Honor, The Crew, Riders Republic, Skull and Bones, which also apparently For Honor still getting support. I didn't know. They just added a new character this week, and I thought that game was dead in the water, but here we are.
Whoa.
Yeah, Creative House 4 is for immersive fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes. That's Anno, Magic and Might and Magic, Rayman, Prince of Persia: Beyond Good and Evil, which I guess still exists, and Creative House 5, which is their one designed to reclaim their position in casual and family games, which the games that they put into that are Just Dance, Idle Miner, Tycoon, Hungry Shark, and Uno. I guess they make that Uno game on mobile.
They've literally tier listed the things they give a shit about.
Pretty much. There's some weird things here where it's like, okay, biggest properties, we put Rainbow Six in there, but Rainbow Six is definitely a competitive shooter, so I don't know why that's in 1 and not 2. And then it's like, Rayman is in 4 for immersive fantasy worlds instead of 5 for casual and family games. And I don't know what we're doing. It feels like it already doesn't make sense, but I think you're exactly right. Like, the tier listing of it is sort of what makes me worried, because I feel like
Yeah.
this restructuring into different verticals makes it so much easier to just be like, okay, well, this one's not working, and just remove all of those studios that are working on that. Because Ubisoft, I think, I don't know the exact number, but they're a global brand. Like, they have studios all across the world. So if they cut one of these creative houses, it would be like, yeah, so we closed all of our studios in Europe, or I don't know, probably not that one, but you know what I mean. It's not great. They haven't been very good at putting out games lately. They put out Assassin's Creed Shadows, which did well. It sold well and was decently reviewed. But otherwise, they have largely been swinging and missing at a lot of things. They don't even have a ton of games announced. They haven't done a showcase to announce new games in a long time. All that we know is coming from them, as far as I'm aware, is I guess Beyond Good and Evil 2, and then they sort of like soft announced like 6 Assassin's Creed games. And other than that, I think there's maybe a couple of little tiny things that no one's probably thinking of. It's grim hours over at good old Ubiquitous Software. So
Well, at least the more things change, the more they stay the same.
yeah, war never changes. Yeah, it's crazy really to think about that. Like two of the biggest third party publishers are now owned by other countries, like not companies. They're owned directly
Hmm.
by countries. Tencent is China, and now China owns, or at least has a pretty big interest in Ubisoft. It seems to have the reins on them on that one. Um,
Hmm.
the way it was described to me is they own 10% of Ubisoft, but they own 100% of Yves Guillemot, who's the guy in charge of Ubisoft. Um, and then EA is about to be completely owned by Saudi Arabia and the Public Investment Fund. So it's like, I don't know, man. It does feel like a lot of bad entities are moving into the video game space in like really aggressive, financially aggressive ways, and I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't know what other like huge publishers are still out there that aren't console manufacturers at this point, because Bethesda and Activision obviously now owned by Xbox.
Hmm.
Um, so really all of the major third party publishers have been grabbed up at this point. It's not awesome.
Scary
Uh,
times.
Scary times. There will, of course, not to to put a sort of more positive spin on the end of it. There will be, and already is, other smaller publishers sort of coming out and starting to create more impressive stuff. We're seeing that with like Devolver and Annapurna and all of these little guys. So in the void of these ones being sort of destroyed, there will be new growth underneath at some point. And I guess I shouldn't say destroyed. Like they will still exist. We just won't care. But hey, something I do care about.
Hmm.
There's a new Life is Strange game. Woo!
Whoa.
Whoa! I love this game franchise. It's really good. It is a hard one to follow because if you played them in order, you would go Life is Strange and then Life is Strange 2. But Life is Strange 2 is not related. It's different
Hmm.
characters. So they've announced Life is Strange Reunion, which is the fourth game in what they're calling the Max and Chloe saga. Max and Chloe being the main characters from the original Life is Strange. There are 6 Life is Strange games, I think, and 2 of them are not about them, but like Life is Strange 2 is one of those. So the like following the system of it gets weird. But
I've played the first one.
yeah. So if you wanted to play them in order, you would play Life is Strange Before the Storm, which came out after Life is Strange but is a prequel. Then Life is Strange, then Life is Strange Double Exposure, and now Reunion when that comes out in, I think it was March. Pretty sure they said March. I'm pretty excited about it. There's people who, you know how the internet is. They look at something and they're immediately like, this is the worst thing in the world.
Hmm.
And I think I understand why they think that about this. It's a weird thing to glom onto because I feel like Life is Strange is such like a small franchise that I wouldn't have thought that there was like this amount of passion around it online, but maybe it's just loud and specifically in my algorithm. But
Yeah.
there is some concern that because this game is about the reunion between Max and Chloe, that people are like, oh, that means that they had to choose a canon ending to the first game because one of the endings involves Chloe dying. I don't know that
Hmm.
that's 100% true because Double Exposure is about alternate timelines. So really anything could have happened. Who knows? Who knows what this game is? There's a lot going on with like time travel stories where it's like I don't know that this consists like should be considered a retcon necessarily.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I understand people being trepidatious about it, but like all of these games have been good, if not great. So I would trust that this one is also going to be pretty good. So I think we can settle down a little bit about it. But I am very
Yeah.
excited because Chloe hasn't been in anything since Before the Storm, and she's probably my favorite character from any of the Life is Strange games. So excited to have her back.
What I can say about it is very limited because, as I said, I've only played the first one. And my main memories of playing the first one, which you watched me play, we were in college together. and that guy kept hitting on Max, and I kept telling him to fuck off, and you kept
Warren.
getting mad at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting mad.
But
Because both options are like, I'm not interested, but you were always picking the like, and go fuck yourself and die.
yes, yeah, and I stand by that decision. But uh, yeah, I don't know. I think I've complained at length about how toxic the word canon has become,
Yeah.
and how much I hate the arguments of all of that stuff. So
Right. Like, were people
uh,
mad when XCOM 2 came out and they chose the canon ending that we lost in the first game? Because I thought most people thought that
I
was a
don't
cool idea.
I don't think I don't remember a conversation of people being mad about that. I remember it happened and people were like, "Oh," and
Cool.
then most everybody said XCOM 2 is better anyways. So I guess if you just make the new thing better than the original thing, then canon doesn't matter.
That's a tough ask, but we'll see what they can do with it. I am very excited for it. It has immediately become like one of my more anticipated games of the year. I don't know how well it'll review because I feel like the last couple have not reviewed super high, like low 70s, but
Mm.
I do think it'll be good. I think I will like it more than most of the critics. That's my prediction.
Hmm.
Put that tack that
Yeah.
on. But Skyler, our last and biggest piece of video game news of the week is Xbox had their annual developer direct. They had announced 3 games were going to be at it, and as is the case with every one of these that they've done so far, there was a surprise extra game that they showed. So we knew that we were going to see Forza Horizon 6, which I think looks really good. It's going to Japan as the location. People have been asking for that for a long time. It's going to be pretty and flashy, and it's going to be a car game. There's not a whole lot to say about it. There's a little tease at the end where they show a Gundam, which I guess is implying that that's probably going to be the first little like crossover DLC event that they do. I think in like 4 maybe they did a Hot Wheels expansion, and then in 5 there was like a Lego expansion or something. So I guess in this one they're like, we're in Japan, going to do Gundams.
That sounds cool to me.
So I don't know. I'm kind of into
As
that.
as as someone who's I'll be honest, probably not gonna play this because
Yeah,
I don't I haven't ever played them before. But who doesn't like putting a Gundam in a thing? That's fun.
Gundams are neat. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm excited for this game because I'm just not a car
No,
guy at all. I think
yeah,
because it's in Game Pass, I'll probably put a good maybe 10 hours into it at some point just to drive around and be like, wow, look at Japan, cool. But
that is neat. Yeah.
I don't see myself sticking with it long term. I know that for the people who are like into cars, this is going to be a really good one for them. But yeah, that's coming out May 19th. I wish I was a car guy so I could have more to say about it, but I'm just not. So then we got Beast of Reincarnation. This is a little, I guess not little, because it feels like it's in scale a lot bigger than what the studio has done before. It's a game being made by Game Freak, who is the team behind Pokemon. So
Hmm.
for people who don't know, Pokemon is owned by sort of 3 companies that come together and become quote unquote the Pokemon company, sort of. It's more complicated than that, but I'm saving time. So don't leave your comments about, oh well actually, because I know.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But basically it's Game Freak makes the video games, Creatures makes the card game, and then Nintendo holds both of them back. That's the relationship that we have here. So this is proof that they are better when they have time to actually make the thing. That's one of the big problems that people always say why the Pokemon games have sort of fallen off in terms of keeping up with graphical fidelity or like frame rate or just not playing like shit is that Nintendo will not give them enough time or money to make the games. And so this is apparently what it looks like when Game Freak does have those 2 things, and it looks pretty damn good.
Hmm.
It's not the most impressive thing in the world. It does look like it's sort of one of those China Joy type games, like a Black Myth Wukong or like a Phantom Blade Zero or one of those ones.
Sure.
But we've known about this for a while, and I wasn't super interested until in this trailer they say that as you're doing your sort of standard action gameplay and you're like parrying and blocking and doing all that, you're building up power so that your little dog friend can attack. And that's when I was like, oh, this is just action Pokemon. This is just Pokemon, but what if it was the dopest shit? And that really
Okay.
sold me on it pretty hard, actually.
All right.
I think the monster designs look really cool. There's a dog in it. You don't get to like pick different quote unquote Pokemon. You just have this. Your character's called Emma, and she has a dog named Ku, who looks like he's part plant. Like he has vines for a tail, and he does plant based attacks. He's the only one that you have, but we do see other people in the game in the trailer who have other creatures that work with them. I guess there's like one girl who's got like a deer thing at one point.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know that this is going to be like one that I'm talking super positively at the end of the year, but right now I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll give that a shot. Why not?
Yeah, it looks neat. There's potential there for sure.
Yeah, pretty interesting monster design. Character design maybe a little bland, but I mean, what do you expect from the Pokemon Company? They're going to be better at monsters.
Yeah.
And then we got the third game, which was a surprise sort of announcement from Double Fine, everyone's favorite Double Fine, Tim Schafer and such. It is a online multiplayer party pottery brawler or something. Because Double Fine cannot make a straight up normal game, and
No.
frankly, God bless him.
Why would you want to?
That's honestly, everyone else is doing it. Why should Double Fine be forced to? So the way this game works is you make a little clay guy who is either a cup or a bowl or a vase or whatever, and there's an actual like pottery wheel where you spin out your own little guy, and then a spirit inhabits that clay thing that you made, and then you and I think it's like 4-on-4 or something, I don't know, but you and a team of your friends go up against other pottery guys, with the objective being that you need to fill yourself with water and get to the other side with that water to extinguish the other people's kiln so that they can't keep, I guess, respawning.
Wow.
So it's like immediately really easy to understand, despite the fact that the idea of it is so like, who thinks of that?
Strange. Yeah.
It looks really cute. Like, I'm very interested in this. I don't know how well it will do. I think it being on Game Pass is going to help it a lot. But I think it's just like such a fresh idea that if it is fun to play, I think this thing's got some pretty decent legs on it. I'm pretty excited about it.
This could easily take off like really big in like the streamer space. You could see a lot of like Twitch partners or various VTuber groups making cute things, pots and playing together. I could see this being a game
Yeah.
like Peak that caught on in a very similar way, or Friend Slop. We like to
Yeah.
call it Friend Slop.
I call it streamer bait, but it's the same thing. You know, I think it falls very much into that. It won't hit this level, but that like Fall Guys area, it won't be as big as that. No way.
Yeah,
But
Fall Guys was huge. Fall Guys and
um,
Among Us were huge, but I think Peak is a good example, or
right, like Lethal Company maybe.
Lethal Company, or Repo.
Repo. Yeah. It's it it's really just gonna matter sort of what streamers end up playing this. I think that's gonna be the
Mhm.
biggest thing about whether or not this is sort of like widespread. But I genuinely think this might be like one of the better reviewed games of the year. I don't that might be crazy, but I think it's like got a pretty good shot at it. I think that just being a multiplayer game that is fresh and interesting again is going to do a lot of review, like the critics who are playing it are going to be like really big on it. That might be a
I
bold
think
prediction,
that
but
I think that only works out if it builds a good audience like really quickly and keeps
right.
it
Well,
all
but
year.
the critics who are reviewing it, they'll be playing it before then. So they won't the review score won't have anything to do with that.
True, I guess. I was thinking as a layman, a normal man, an everyday man, a consumer
A
if you're nasty.
consumer. This is one of the ones, because so Xbox obviously been putting a lot of their stuff on PlayStation. Pretty much all of these have been announced to be on other consoles. It is weird to me that this one's not on, announced at least to be on Switch. I feel like it's like kind of a slam dunk over there. I guarantee it'll get over there at some point. I'm just interested to see why they haven't announced that yet.
It does have big Splatoon vibes.
Yeah. But I think it's got legs. I think this game could really take off in an interesting way. I think if you're in that friend group where you're like, yeah, we're playing Pico Park and fucking Ultimate
Mhm.
Chicken Horse and like those sort of things, we're Jackbox games. this could be a thing for you guys. Like I genuinely think this could be one of those games that you really enjoy. So, but the end of the show, big and strong, guns out, suns out, with Fable, the reboot, I guess, of the technically original Xbox franchise, but I think it really took off in the 360 era with Fable 3, I think was probably the biggest one. That might be crazy to say.
I
There's going to be old heads who get mad at me for saying that, but I do think that's true.
it strikes me that someone out there is going to say that like Fable 2 is the best one.
Yeah, they're going to be like, actually, I loved the original Fable, even though that game barely functioned. Anyway, this game looks great. So this is it is a RPG, action RPG of sorts that takes place in a fairy tale England that's largely supposed to be more comedy than serious, I think. Like it'll have serious moments if it's like the previous games. But it's
Yeah.
going to be largely sort of tongue in cheek and funny. And I think that's great. Like it looking at the trailer, it does come off as like this is going to be The Witcher but cute, and I love that. I think that
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
that's a really good idea for what this is. They added a character creator, which I think is a really positive thing. All of the previous games have let you choose, not all of the previous games, 2 and 3, I think, have let you choose between a guy and a girl. And then
Hmm.
you can like get new haircuts later, but this is going to be the first one that has some level of a character creator. Although they did, it might not be like a full character creator. The way that they explained it did make it sound more like you're picking different like heads, but
Right.
hopefully they'll at least be. I mean, they showed like 4 or 5 at least, so there's going to be more than the previous games, which is, I guess, a good thing. When they first showed off this game, people were giving it shit because the character that they were showing being played in it was a girl who wasn't like
Right.
super conventionally attractive, and so everyone was like, "Oh my god, Fable went woke, blah 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 blah. I can't believe they're gonna force you to play as this ugly, quote unquote, ugly girl."
Right.
And everyone who knows anything was like, "You're gonna be able to play as different characters, and also she's not even that ugly. Like she looks fine. She just isn't wearing a bunch of makeup. She's fine."
Yeah, but the people who start those arguments just never get tired of being the dumbest motherfuckers in the room.
Yeah, it's their
So
favorite.
it's
At a certain point, you have to wonder if it's just rage bait. You know what I mean? If they actually care.
it's probably rage bait in the sense of they're just starved for attention. So it's
Yeah,
like you can't take that kind of shit seriously. Like like oh, my day's been ruined because I saw a woman.
I
Like, okay, dude, I'm
God forbid
sorry.
a woman catch a vibe. But this game I think looks especially good. This is the first one being made by Playground Games, who is traditionally the Forza company. So this is actually their second game of the show.
But there's not even a car in this.
I know, isn't that insane? And they make a joke about that in the direct as well.
Oh,
But they've clearly understand what they're doing. Like the game looks really phenomenal. They've poached a lot of like bigger name developers in the space. The narrative writers have been poached from Remedy, who did like Control and Alan Wake. The combat designers were poached from The Witcher, which is why it looks so much like The Witcher. And I think all of those were good ideas, frankly. I think it's going to work out for them. I think this game looks phenomenal. They've made note that they're keeping in a lot of the mechanics and like side games that people really wanted in this. So you can still get
yeah.
married, you can still have kids, you can still buy a house and or become a landlord or whatever that stuff you want to do. All of that is still in the game from at least 3. I think it might have been in 2 as well. And my favorite thing about this is, without saying it, they were like, "Hey, so famously, this game series was lies, where Peter Molyneux would come out on stage and he would make you a bunch of promises and none of them would come true. But now it's 2026 and the things he promised aren't that crazy anymore, so we made them real."
Oh,
We took all of the previous lies and now they're real. So now it's like every NPC has a life and you can follow them and they'll go and do things. They all have different, like, not personalities necessarily, but like each one of them will view you differently. So the morality isn't just black and white, like did you eat the baby or did you save the baby? It's going to be more like,
right.
this person doesn't like you because you bought their house and they don't like that their rent is too high. And this person doesn't like you because you did this thing on this quest and they didn't like what that was. Which I think is way more interesting than just like, I did a bad thing and now horns are growing out of my head because I'm evil. Ugh. You know?
Yeah, I did see some people complaining about the that they took away like the how evil or good you act changes your physical appearance mechanic.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, yeah, I don't really have a dog in that fight. I've only ever played Fable 3. which
Yeah,
I would say I'm kind of mixed on.
I
I
would
mean, I
agree.
think overall it's a fun time, and I like the, I guess, like political decisions you have to make throughout it. Like you have to make hard choices to help save up your resources towards the end or whatever. But yes, I guess they were just coming at it from the standpoint of like it's been a mainstay of the series and they just took it out. So I guess I can
Yeah,
understand from that point of
I,
view.
I guess I understand people feeling some kind of way about it, but I think when you make the morality system more gray than black and white, it does. Mm, it would make it harder to do that because you would be like, I thought I was making the good choices, but now I have devil horns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's probably a good thing in general, but I can see people being upset about it. If I had to guess, because it is such like a tongue-in-cheek sort of like jokey game franchise, I would bet that there's some kind of cosmetic item you can buy in a store to be like, I'm evil now, and like put on your devil horns or whatever. I could imagine that. I think that feels pretty likely.
Yeah.
Um, but they were saying like you're gonna have a bunch of cool choices to make, and people are gonna care about that. And the one that they brought up was, of course, our boy, friend of the show. I'm gonna say, even though he has no idea who we are, Richard Ayoade, uh, plays a guy who finds like a growth potion that turns him into a giant, and then you have to decide whether or not to kill him about it. And if you do kill him, then the rotting corpse of the UK's national icon Richard Ayoade will just be laying up on a hill for the rest of your game. I'm
Oh no.
and I'm telling you right now, I don't care how evil he is. I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that to him.
No, that sounds pretty funny though.
It does sound kind of funny. I don't know. Fable is for sure the game of the show. I think it's going to be one of the more impressive games of the year if they can make true on even 70% of the promises that they made with the showcase. And I
Mhm.
do feel like specifically with Playground, I've never known them to lie ever. Granted, they're mostly making car games, but I don't know why they would start now.
I'm mostly surprised by how nice the game looks.
It does.
I think it looks really pretty. So yeah, this could be a fun one.
I can pretty much guarantee. Well, I guess there is still like a small chance that it ends up getting delayed out of the year. But if it comes out, which it almost certainly will, I I'm gonna put a bet on it right now. I think this will be nominated but not win Game of the Year.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, I don't like that the girl isn't super hot, so we have to give it to Grand Theft Auto or whatever.
No, that has to come out in order to win Game of the Year.
Not necessarily. We don't know. We don't know. They change the rules every year.
That's a good point, actually.
Well, Skyler, we won't have too long to wait to see how these games work out. But if you guys want to tell us what you thought of these games or any of the other things that we talked about in this show, you can leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube, whichever one you're listening to us on. And then you can go to the other one and leave that same comment again. And I will respond to it in both places. And I'll respond with different responses. That's my promise to you. We're shooting for 300 subscribers this year, and we're growing relatively steadily. But we're going to need your help to continue that and to get up to that number by the end of the year. So please subscribe in all of the places where you can, and then tell your friends how cool we are and how great we are at talking about video games that we definitely know everything about. I'm a big car guy, and I know cars for sure. You can follow the show on Twitter at RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler 8-bit.
And until next time, everybody, we'll see you around.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back in time with